guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aisha Rahman. I'm the founder of Isha May. So today's video is going to be about what is interior design, because I don't feel like sometimes people are a bit unsure, so I thought this would be a good video just to explain. So basically, interior design is the design of the interior, of the total interior. So there are different levels to it. So you can basically go from construction to reconstruction, to the design of the interior, to redesigning, to reconfiguring how maybe somebody already has a placement of their room, because sometimes, well, I'm speaking about residential just to make it easier. Sometimes, you know, some people just don't have that kind of foresight as to, okay, I've had my room, for instance, set out like this for so many years. I really want to change. I want to add this in there, add that. How can I do it? That's where you would come to an interior designer, and we would come in and basically work our magic, and voila, you'll have what it is that you want. So with interior design, you basically will transform a space into the desired space of the client. This is why I say it can start from even construction. So for instance, with my current project, Carton, I'm working alongside the architects and I'm asking, okay, this room is a bit small, please can you make it larger? This room, we don't want this kind of space, can you please take that out? Etc, etc. So for instance, if we have a plan of a home and I feel like the flow is not very well in terms of the way that us as people would use the space, then it's best we'll then reconfigure how it has been originally created to then make it so that it flows better. For instance, if you had a home and it's quite just your usual home where, you know, you've got your walls, but you want an open plan type home, you can get an interior designer to come in. We can get the original plans, or even go to the space, measure the entire space, then we can create a 2D floor plan, and then we can literally recreate the whole space and make it an open plan space, which would obviously mean taking down walls and things of that nature. So therefore, when you do the 2D floor plan, it's just an initial plan, because then you're going to need to consult engineers, carpenters, whoever it is that you need to do certain aspects of the work and find out, is it possible? And it won't be most times, 9 times out of 10, until they actually go to the location, start tearing down walls to find out if it's actually possible, because there could be support walls, support beams and things like that that you don't know that are there, or wires that are hidden in the wall, or all manner of things. So it's just a kind of starting template. So as I mentioned, we do 2D floor plans. 2D floor plans are bird's eye view of how a space can look. So like I mentioned, you can do it where you're reconstructing a home and the way in which it's laid out, or it could be you're going to be showing someone how you would like it to be constructed. So for instance, you could just do so that you already have the outside walls, so you can put some walls in, you can put some doors in, you can change the windows, the size of the windows. You can also then place where the furnishing is going to be placed, where the toilet's going to go, where the sinks are going to go, etc, etc, etc. And you make sure that is ideal for that space. So you don't just put a large bed in a box room just because, you know, you've got to think smartly. How are you going to get that bed into the house? Number one, is it a good use of space? Can the person still get around in that space? Would it be more conducive to put in a smaller bed, so then you can also have another area, for instance, a desk, just for example. Also, you've got to think of the type of space that you have. If it's a small space, how are you going to fit things in there? For instance, if it's a living dining room, how are you going to fit the sofas, and how are you going to fit the dining tables? So you've got to really think, okay, I've got this small space, I've got to make sure it fits and that it works really well for my client. So that's what the 2D floor plan is about. Then you can take it a notch up, so then you can do 3D floor plans. This will then just give you more of an elevation as to how it's going to look, and clients really like this because they can really visualize what it is that you've been visualizing all this time. Because sometimes, you know, as creatives, we have these things in our head and we get really excited about it, but people don't live in our head. So we need to show them what's going on up there. So this is where the 3D is really, really great for that. And you have different modes of doing it. Then you can make renders, so you can make stills. Stills are just like pictures, so you can have that. And then you can also have like a certain view, so you can have 720 view, 360 view. So therefore the client will kind of have that feeling like they're walking in the space and it feels very, very real. So then you'll have the textures, the colors, the accent walls, if you're going to have an accent wall, the furnishing, everything. You'll lay it out as if they were living there. So it would even go down to the decor, paintings on the wall, any kind of ornaments you might have on tables or anything, or everything will be included. And that way it really helps the client to visualize just as you've been visualizing. Also, another thing that I always do is mood boarding. Mood boarding is putting some images together to show your client what it is you envision, so you can help them see before you even do the 3D. This will help them have an idea, okay, so this is the type of look that you want to go for, because you've got to think of the style, and also to make sure that the style does complement the space very well and also complements your client, because you do not want to create a very modern style for somebody that prefers more of traditional style, or for instance an eclectic style for somebody that like contemporary style, or for instance doing Hollywood glam for somebody that hates feathery girly stuff. So you've got to make sure that you cater it for your client. That's very important. So sometimes this can take some time. You might go, you know, back and forth depending on whether you've understood the client's needs or not. The one thing in interior design that I think a lot of people don't realize is that there's a lot of measuring and calculating. You do have to make sure that when you do your 2D plan, that it is scaled down to what the initial measurements are. Because if you do not do this, you can get yourself in a mess. If you don't know this important information, what will happen is you'll think you can put a bed, for instance, in a room and it's the wrong size. So either too large or too small, and it doesn't work with the style at all. So as an interior designer, you really do have to think about a number of things. You've also got to take on board what things your client would like and what they would not like. But as you are the interior designer and you know about interior design, you also need to be quite firm and say this will work, because sometimes some people cannot see the finished picture regardless of what you've shown them, and they might feel like, no, I don't think it's going to work, but you know from experience that it will work. So you do sometimes have to just nudge them a bit, and then they appreciate it in the end. So yeah, I mean, that's just a small snapshot. I hope you got to understand a bit more about what it is that I do and other interior designers out there. Yeah, so thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.